broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
A night of title changes, shocking returns, and blood. And there was quite a bit of blood tonight, which is unusual.
Much blood.
We're going to talk about it all live on AfterBuzzTV.com, your YouTube AfterBuzz page. Of course, iTunes and SoundCloud. Like, subscribe, tell your friends about the wonderful world of AfterBuzz as we break down 2015 Hell in a Cell. Welcome, everybody. I am Christian Rosenberg. Follow me on Twitter at RealRosenberg, Instagram at TheRealRosenberg, and of course, buy one of these beauties at ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. The lovely lady next to me, the former co-predictions champion.
It hurts.
At Christy Reports, Christy Olson.
It hurts, but I was there tonight. I had so much fun. I kind of don't even care.
All right, well, she secretly cares. On the other side of the table, the other former co-predictions champion, at G Hermoza, it's George Hermoza. Were you lip-syncing what I was saying just now?
Yeah, I kind of don't even care. I mean, I kind of don't even care.
You weren't there.
I think he does care. And the guy who was studying every single second to see whether or not he would win the predictions championship, but did not, at Steve Kaufmann, it's Steve Kaufmann.
Yes, at Steve Kaufmann. That's Kaufmann.
Yeah.
Let's talk some wrestling.
We can talk wrestling, and I know I'm joking with them that they are not the predictions champion. I'm not either. It's John LaQuasto. I mean, he brings it back to Raw. I'm never going to win that damn title again.
How does it make you feel that you've never won it in a while? When
It's been like, almost 2 years since I've won the damn thing. Christy's been here for like 6 months. She's won it like 3 times.
Yeah, if
already.
you take the time Christy's been on this panel, and the time she's been champion, it's actually a rather impressive percent.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably the most successful predictions champion.
The mostest successfulest?
The mostest successfulest.
Okay. Well, we'll have Quasto see if he remembers to bring the belt on Raw or not. And he'll do all that. Congrats to him. But we got to talk. This was a great show. And I'm not just saying that because we were there at Staples Center, just down the road from us. Well, George wasn't there.
Yeah.
The other 3 of us were there.
I'm not used to getting...
Somebody has to watch for us on TV.
I'm used to getting picked last or not getting picked at all, so it's okay.
It was a really important job, George, to watch it on TV at home to tell us what that looked like.
Nope.
Because now we're getting a varied perspective.
Nope.
It was kind of quiet down there on the floor, you know?
Wow. Well, that was uncalled for.
That was uncalled for.
Just hanging out with, like Max Landis and Dennis Haskins, Mr. Belding was sitting right by us.
He was right next to us.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and we didn't ask him for a picture or nothing.
Well, because he knows us. We just hang out. we're buddies. It's like principal student and all that. But all right, let's break down. Let's start with the kickoff match first. Man's in love with Cesaro.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm all about this, and I have been saying this for a long time that like Cesaro. There's the Cesaro that comes out and gets that kind of pop, and then there's specifically how the people who make these decisions think he's being perceived. Like, I think there's a like blockage there that I'm hoping they can fix because people love that guy.
Right.
And one day, someone will be sitting in the front Cesaro with a W. The front Cesaro.
Cute.
How long have you been thinking of that one?
I saw it on Reddit. I saw it on Reddit like in the summer, like 2-3 months ago.
It's just been keeping it on retainer.
I've just been waiting for the right moment, but I think this is the moment where we can really see Cesaro shine.
I mean, how great is it to see Cesaro get that kind of a reaction, especially after what Vince McMahon said on the Stone Cold podcast?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's not over with the crowd, must be his accent, just like, but to see now Cesaro be over and not even like being forced over, it's forced, he's over organically. because he's a great, fantastic wrestler. Because some of his facial reactions in the ring or some of his body language, it is the crowd is catching on to that, and they've caught on. Not even catching on, they've caught on to that.
Yeah, and his teammates were kind of helping him out, push him a little bit. Dolph Ziggler grabbed one of the Cesaro section signs that was kind of right by me, actually, pulled it out, and they put it up, and they were trying to help him. They were helping to hype him.
Yeah, and hi to Dan. That's what I saw.
Oh yeah, there was that too on the other side.
and we also had the Stardust section out there too as well, and Stardust sitting there along with the Ascension. And I love, it was a time where they knew they weren't being filmed. Victor pulls out one of those like telescopes that
a captain's telescope,
and he's just like trying to look around, just being goofy. And I want to see more of that because, like, to me, I'm like, that could be entertaining.
I think Stardust teaming with the Ascension is the best thing that's happened to the Ascension since they went to the main roster.
Oh, easily.
Because they were trying to, you give them that gimmick and then you try to take them seriously, and it falls flat. Whereas, no, don't take this seriously. This is silly. This is just kind of stupid, like Stardust. Everyone loves it.
Yeah.
I love everything about this, and I think when we do get into the tag team match, we can learn specifically that the Dudleys shouldn't just face the tag champs again, and there's a lot of wealth in that division that needs to step out.
Right. And the match ends with Neville hitting the red arrow on Barrett. They get the win. Really fun, fast-paced. This is a type of opening match that you would expect that you want to see. Getting the crowd going. They're excited. They like booing Rusev. They love cheering for Cesaro and Neville and Ziggler. So, yeah, really, really good match to get it going.
I think a six-man is very much so a lost art in pro wrestling. Obviously, it goes back years and years, even going back to the Von Erichs Freebirds days with the great six-mans from back in the day. Even me, I personally think that the six-man tag is how Daniel Bryan got over, too. Because it was him, Kane, and enter Orton or whoever against the Shield.
Daniel Bryan, the greatest hot tags ever.
Yeah, exactly. and honestly, you ask Daniel Bryan, he credits the Shield in terms of him getting over as well, on how over he got during that spring, summer of 2013. So I really do think six-man tags lost art. I actually went for the heels going over because I thought they had a lot of good chemistry, especially throughout the week, having segments on Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah, they're starting to build the three of them up. And
they look like a great team.
Kind of just like a European kind of thing. I think they tweeted about it a few times. Yeah. And I thought they were, not they were going to be a permanent six-man team or whatever they are, a trio. But yeah, I thought they were actually going to go somewhere with this. Because, obviously Barrett and Sheamus has a lot of history together. They trained, I don't know if they trained together, but definitely wrestled a lot together before WWE.
Well, I thought the only point of this match was to throw us off from who was going to challenge Cena for his open challenge. So it was like, all these guys are out here now in a match, so they can't be in the open challenge.
Well, because so many people...
And then I was watching for who wasn't. I'm who are they not taking in? Who's not working?
Well,
who are they saving?
We were talking about on SmackDown the other day, because a lot of people were saying, Ziggler's going to respond to the open challenge. I'm just like, no, he's wrestling a match.
Plus,
and he just did it. Yeah. So it wouldn't make any sense for him to do it.
Not to mention, there were two people who were on the roster there that night who you could use. Dean Ambrose and The Miz. We're just there tonight. And they weren't wrestling.
And even though a lot of people would not have liked it, you could have also used Big Show.
Yep.
Again, no one would. I'm not saying I wanted that to happen, but that was an option you could have used.
There were three decent options.
You could have also used Strowman.
Yep.
Or Harper. I mean, Harper or Strowman.
Yeah.
Or Rowan. Any one of them.
Strowman got involved.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get to that a little later. But let's get into who did answer the call for the United States Open Challenge. Cena starts off the show, and we're all excited because, again, we've been talking about all week. Is it going to be Daniel Bryan coming back? Is it going to be Tyler Breeze? Is it going to be... I honestly thought they were going to throw a curveball at us and put Miz out there. Who was it going to be? And out comes Zeb Coulter.
Out comes Zeb Coulter, and I also had a theory, because all around Twitter today, it was a buzz that Kurt Angle was confirmed that he was in Los Angeles.
He's in Los Angeles.
He was in town all weekend.
Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle, who currently does not have a contract with that place down in Florida.
I think he does.
No, he retired October 3rd. He officially said, "This is my last match here. I'm going to take a sabbatical." He's not under contract.
Know something?
No, I didn't watch Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
I don't know of any other companies. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fair enough. But when Zeb Coulter, first off, Zeb Coulter comes out to Jack Swagger's
and
music.
you know it's not going to be Jack Swagger.
Yeah, that was
I
weird.
had a brief moment where I was like, "Oh, I'm going to be really disappointed." Or I'm really gonna love whoever beats down Jack Swagger to come in here.
This was the thing. It was like, okay, how come Zeb was just like, oh, is it gonna be Swagger? Oh, that's kind of a letdown.
I thought it was gonna be Coulter himself.
But then the thought was,
in the wheelchair?
Wait, Coulter represents a real American. Could that be Angle then? Is this like a curveball to make us think it's gonna be Kurt Angle? And then he was just like, it's not just about America. It's about finding great talent, and that Cena does not deserve it. So let me introduce to you your opponent, Alberto.
No, you gotta do it.
Well, then you do it. I can't roll ours.
You got it?
Do it.
Your opponent, you gotta.
Who's got it?
And his opponent,
Alberto Del Rio.
that was actually really good.
Suck it, Ricardo.
It was impressive.
I'm just kidding.
Are you driving? Are you driving to San Diego tomorrow? They're gonna need some help.
I like you very much, Ricardo Rodriguez. You're my Facebook. You're my Facebook. Vamos, caballeros.
Alberto Del Rio out without a car.
No car, but Zeb had his rascal.
Zeb had his rascal. Zeb Coulter really came around on this whole immigration issue.
Dude, I love
did.
He really.
Since his time
love
off,
the theme song.
since he broke his foot, he's had some time to reflect.
Yeah, he must have met all walks of life throughout the healthcare system, and learned that all Americans are Americans.
And I'll tell you what, I wasn't that. I mean, it was like I was excited. Oh, Del Rio's back. That's a cool surprise. But it's just like, we've seen Cena versus Del Rio a lot of times. But the LA crowd, and maybe I don't know how it portrayed on TV, George. So you can. I was
going to ask you. I wanted to ask.
The crowd went nuts.
Yes,
they were ecstatic to see Del Rio.
Yeah.
I could not believe it.
There was 5 seconds of wait, what? WTF? And then it just went crazy.
And the entire match, they didn't just suddenly, oh, now he's back and now we can boo him because he's a heel. They were going nuts for him.
Were there a lot of C chants? C.
Yep.
C.
A lot of C chants. There were C
that
chants.
Means yes in Spanish, Christy.
There were C chants. There was welcome back.
Spanish.
They're not just chanting for the ocean. They're chanting yes in Spanish.
The C is
It all
not.
makes
The
sense
C and
to me
ocean
now.
are different.
They're
sir.
not chanting for the third letter on the alphabet.
Oh, they weren't talking about me?
But so the two of them go head. Now Zeb, no interference at all. He's just sitting in his rascal the entire
Rematch
time.
from 2 years ago in Hell in a Cell,
and this is
2013.
their third meeting at a Hell in a Cell.
Yep, and then that was a rematch from the 2011.
Yes.
Well, that was a triple threat match.
Well, they wrestled each other.
Yeah.
Okay, Encyclopedia
They were in the same
of
ring.
Sports Entertainment.
Yeah.
2011. That was a good
I'm
match.
just calling you the
I like-
Encyclopedia of Sports Entertainment.
Well, then you can keep doing it right now.
No, I'm done. But yeah, no, really, really fun match between the two. And Del Rio defeats John Cena
Clean.
without the arm breaker, completely clean, and becomes your new United States champion.
I realize what it is. It's something in the water. Because with the exception of maybe once or twice or 3 times, Cena sucks in LA.
He's terrible in it.
He
He has a
is
terrible
horrible.
record in LA.
He's an incredibly terrible.
2009 SummerSlam lost to Orton. 2011 lost to Punk. 12 triple threat. 13.
I feel like every time I've seen him in LA, he's
14
lost.
got destroyed by Brock Lesnar.
I think I'm gonna call that the curse of JBL.
TV matches.
I'm gonna call that the curse of. I'm gonna call that the curse of JBL. He beat JBL at WrestleMania 21. Sorry. He beat JBL at WrestleMania.
He's won matches since then in LA.
Televised matches. John Cena.
Because I know he beat Kevin Owens at the house show, but everybody knows live events don't really count.
John Cena. We should be more prepared with this information, but John Cena televised Los Angeles matches. I guarantee you he's below 20%.
Probably, to be honest, because the only one that, I don't know if, I guess it counts, but 2010, him and the Nexus, obviously John Cena went over in that match. But yeah, dude, he's not that good.
In LA, he's not that good. He's not that good on the West Coast. Maybe he's just jet lagged. I don't know. But what do we think of the fact that now, not just the fact that Del Rio's back, but Del Rio is now back and now has a mouthpiece in Zeb Coulter with him?
I
think this is going to catapult him to even higher areas than he was in his last run.
I'm not going to lie. I've always been a huge fan of Alberto Del Rio. Huge fan. And I love that he's back. I love his theme song, to be honest with you.
His theme song is great.
It's probably one of the greatest theme songs that doesn't have any lyrics. It's up there with Ravish and Rick Rude. I love it.
Such a great one.
Oh, my God.
I just love that. I love that wrestling has Zeb Coulter back.
Yeah?
I love Zeb.
I agree.
Everything. I hope he picks up another person and then starts a stable, and then that person's a white hot babyface. So then when Del Rio turns heel, because Del Rio can talk for himself.
I would say he's heel right now.
But Del Rio's heel. Del Rio's definitely heel.
Yeah.
It's just
Zeb
a crowd.
Coulter?
With Zeb Coulter, he's
yeah.
a heel. It's just the crowd was so excited that the shock to see him, and an LA crowd, which is a quote unquote smart crowd.
Although I do think that
they were excited for Cena to lose.
So you're saying tomorrow night in San Diego,
I do
Del
think
Rio's not a face.
No. He's going to get a baby face reaction.
He'll be cheered like one, but he will not act like one. Honestly, I would not be surprised if tomorrow on Raw, Cena invokes his rematch clause, and that's when then Del Rio locks in a cross arm breaker and injures him.
Mm-hmm. I buy that.
It has to happen.
It literally has to happen because for those who don't know, Fox Sports, it's not a reality show, it's a fitness show. What's the show that John Cena is hosting on Fox Sports?
I didn't even know what network it was on. I knew he was going to be hosting a fitness reality show.
A fitness reality show on Fox Sports 1.
So it's probably some sort of a competition.
Okay.
Yeah.
He'll be the Chris Jericho.
Probably, yeah.
To a Tough Enough style show on
Does that
Fox
mean it's going
Sports
to be
1.
a horrible show?
I can't speak to the quality of this hypothetical show that
John
John Cena is leaving us for.
Right,
Yeah.
but
Probably till Rumble.
But can we also talk about how honestly brilliant of a booking standpoint WWE was in the order of the show?
Yes.
Because all of a sudden the pay-per-view starts with John Cena, who's the Mr. Opponent. Oh crap, here's a guy that was fired over a year ago and he just won the title. Everyone, of course, is going nuts on Twitter. Tune in, watch this. Del Rio is back. More people watching the network, so what do? Boom, Hell in a Cell match.
Real quick before we go on to the next match, I would love to work in the merchandise department, or not even work, just talk to them, and just ask them, how much secrecy do you guys have to be sworn to? Because obviously there's already brand new Alberto Del Rio shirts, so you know that this was already a plan. This wasn't a last minute decision to bring in Alberto Del Rio.
Right.
We've seen that all the time.
It's been planned for at least a few weeks.
Yeah.
My guess to that question would be they probably, when I mentioned Kurt Angle, unsigned free agent, flew into LA today probably to negotiate with them, maybe to just watch the matches. But if he's in any serious talks with them at all, and he has been for months, that order just comes through. That order will just come through that office.
Yeah, of course.
And it could be nothing.
But I'm just curious, the secrecy that people have. Because, especially with the internet these days, with the amount of leaks there are nowadays, something's got to slip through the crack every now and then. Same thing happened with Samoa Joe when he was on NXT. He already had an NXT-produced t-shirt or WWE-produced t-shirt.
My theory would be that everybody has a t-shirt. Everybody who's possibly going to be on television has a t-shirt, just not produced, but they have a t-shirt coming through that workflow.
But why waste energy and time into
probably
that's just
you could
maybe,
design a t-shirt before lunch. That's a half a day job. That if you have 5 people if you have 5 graphic designers in a room, you could conceivably do 20 t-shirts a day. So that's needle in a haystack stuff where if there were a leak, it'd be well, that would have been Samoa Joe's shirt. Sorry. It's on the internet now.
Yeah.
That would be my answer, but someone might have a better one.
Oh, regardless, he's back. He's got a title now, and I love having him with Zeb. I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Everything about that.
Hell in a Cell, Part 1.
I'm kind of curious about asking you something, guys. Asking everybody on this panel real quick. What do you guys think of just this pay-per-view in general? As far as it's almost if now it's a yearly thing. Mm-hmm. Now it seems like you have to have a mandatory match or two. Does it kind of diminish the aura that is Hell in a Cell?
Yes, and I feel when they were doing things with Hell in a Cell or the Elimination Chamber when that was a once-a-year thing.
Or TLC.
Or TLC, I feel that does diminish it because it's it could still end up being once a year, but we don't need to know, we know that match is going to happen at this pay-per-view 10 months from now because that's what it's called. No, it'd be this Sunday at Over the Limit, I'm taking you on in the Hell in a Cell, whatever it might be, know. But then it's like, oh crap, there's going to be that type of match at that one.
Because I was thinking about it, and obviously, I think the last Hell in a Cell that wasn't at the pay-per-view was 28, WrestleMania 28, Taker Triple H. You add the same elements of everything, how great that match was, put it on this pay-per-view, I don't think it would have been that great. Like, I think it still would have been a great match, but just everything about it, take away Mania, it's like just because it's a mandatory kind of match, as opposed to that match that actually was. It's like everything culminated to that match. And while some of these matches are great in the past years, even both matches this year were great, I feel like if it wasn't a forced match, I feel that it would have been a lot better. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no reason why Taker and Brock should have been in a Hell in a Cell.
No, we'll get to that later. But
Kane isn't.
Right, but we got to get into the first Hell in a Cell match because we only got so much time to talk about everything, and we're literally only on the second match of the pay-per-view.
We don't have 2 hours.
We're going 4 hours tonight, guys. I don't know if the producers are cool with that or not, but we're just gonna
be. And if you kick us out, we're just gonna be on my Periscope outside. We're just gonna be on my phone. I'm not
gonna stand outside with you holding your phone on your Periscope.
I'll hold my phone.
Okay.
But okay.
Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. Now, this match needed the cell. And I loved the innovations that they used with the weapons, with the kendo sticks, the chair hung on the cell.
Yes.
That was crazy.
This match told a fantastic story. I loved everything about this match. This was easily my favorite match of the show.
Going back to what I just said, I feel like this match, like you said, because it needed to be in the cell, it increased the match quality.
Yes, I mean, and this one had the right story to build up. Okay, this is the way that no one else can get involved. It will just be the two of you, and it stayed that way. And man, 3 tables did they go through in total?
Yep,
3 tables, a bunch of kendo sticks.
3 tables, 3 kendo sticks, 2 chairs.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yes, and a partridge in a cell.
Yes, I mean such a great back and forth match. The spear running from the apron into the table, so good.
I've always been curious. Obviously, you guys were there. How does it look live? I've never been to an event that had a Hell in a Cell.
This was my very first one to see it live too. And I've seen cage matches, and obviously cage matches. Whoa, oh, wow, that's really that big. This was huge.
What about you guys? Same thing.
Yes, the cell is very imposing, and
like does it diminish your view of like what's going on?
A little bit.
Okay.
Well, those outside table spots. One was right by us, but that table was right next to the guardrail, next to the cell. So all we saw was Roman Reigns do the spear and then just kind of disappear. And then we got to see the replay, and then the other side, all you saw was the apron to the and then you see it through mesh, and then we had a crane shot right in front of us half the time. Like it's not ideal. It's not the most ideal for fans, but it looks way better
for the live crowd. Yeah, it's just that exposure of, oh my God, there's the cell, and this is huge, and they're actually going to go in that. But if you're sitting in certain areas in the arena, it might not be too pleasant because of the cranes that they have to do the camera work for TV.
Yeah, I definitely couldn't see everything that was going on, but I could hear that it was good. And when it was on my side, I could see it. When it was on my side, I could see it really, really well.
How are you, like the best predictions champion? Yeah, it was good.
They kept yelling at me to sit down. Tried to get up on my chair once.
But yeah, Reigns victorious with the spear. But there was also a great sequence where Reigns went for a clothesline. Wyatt caught him into his sister Abigail, and then Reigns immediately counted that into his schoolboy and something else. I was sitting there next to Steve. I'm just like, yeah, all of that. Yes, that was all great.
Remember that happens, so that we can talk about it later.
Yeah. Please remind me of that.
Also, Reigns spearing into the table is in my running for spot of the night.
Yes, and we'll get to that. Tag team championship. New Day versus Dudley's. No Xavier. He's still resting at home, selling his going through a table this past Monday Night Raw. But his unicorn horn was up high, and now they have new shirts with freaking unicorn stuff on them.
Awesome.
Although I was kind of disappointed because we would have got to see another hairstyle from Xavier Woods. He could have done anything. He could have done him. I guess
he
always
do a unicorn horn.
I guess he always does the man bun, but he could do something. I
don't know, but as a man who has a bachelor's and master's degree in percussion, I want to thank
because for some reason he thought that was a good idea.
This is where it got me right here. I need to. Not only do I need to sell these shirts for medical bills, I need it for my student loans. But the fact that Kofi said he was going to play Devon's head like a bongo drum, and that Big E was going to play Bubba Ray's belly like a bass drum, like he was Kamala.
Caucasian Kamala.
Caucasian Wonderful. Kamala. Is that factually correct? Both of those things.
A bongo drum and a bass drum?
Yes.
Yes, those are actual percussion instruments.
No, but could you play Devon's head like? Never mind.
Well, bongos you need two. So it'd be one part of a bongo.
So you would need two Devons.
You need two Devons to have a matching set of bongo drums.
Got it.
That lesson of the day.
I'm glad we answered that for everyone.
But we had an Eddie moment, an Eddie chant in the crowd.
Yes.
When Kofi tossed the trombone to Bubba and then fell down, and the ref was just like, oh, "Did you hit him?"
And then I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the ref asked the crowd.
Well, like Bubba was looking at the crowd, and the crowd's like, "No," and the ref was like, "What happened?" Because referees ask the audience all the time for help.
But the referee asked the audience like, "Did he do it?" And I just felt like I was watching like a live presentation of like Peter Pan, where it's like, if we clap really hard, you guys. We might bring him back. This match won't be a disqualification, but you got to really be behind it.
And yeah, after much mental deliberation, the referee decided, no, I don't know if he did it or not, but I did not see it, so I'm not calling for disqualification.
If only we recorded it.
If only someone was filming. If only.
Man.
Why weren't there any cameras in there?
Because there's not like a place where you could air it. There's not like a WWE video place. Like,
that's just crazy talk. It's crazy
talk
right
minute.
there.
Okay, move on. Anyway. It's been a very long day.
But with the referee distracted, Big E then took the trombone, hit Bubba with it, led to a Trouble in Paradise. New Day retains the tag titles. Dudleys cannot beat New Day. They've had 3 title shots now.
No, I thought this was going to be the one.
Me too.
I thought so too. Also, the Dudleys cannot get to fight the New Day again.
They better not.
The Dudleys need to be on Saturday Morning Slam if that's still a show.
That's not a show.
Or Main Event, that's still a show.
Main Event is still Live Wire Shotgun Saturday night.
The Dudleys need to be on Main Event facing 2 local talents. They need to be starting from the top.
From the bottom?
Yes, they
Start
need
from
to be
the bottom
starting
to work their way up
from the top, and then
they need to be well.
That's what happened now. They came back, they got their title shot, and now they're just gonna.
Especially in a world where the New Age Outlaws can just show up and win without a problem.
Nope.
It's nope, we're champs now.
Yep.
We're champs because we wanted to come back.
When are the Usos coming back?
I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow. I mean, who's next for New Day? Not Lucha Dragons. They've been losing left and right.
Not Lucha Dragons.
Obviously, Dudleys are done.
Dudleys need
for now.
Dudleys need to get out of a program with them to get back into one. So Dudley.
Who else?
I'm running low on tag team.
Who else for a face team? Yeah, I would not be surprised if they show up tomorrow.
About time.
Well, they had to wait for Jay to get healthy.
Yeah, but he was supposed to be ready to go in September.
Since when?
That was
that what Totally Diva said?
Believe that.
What report?
Oh, for sakes, you guys.
What report said that?
Did WWE.com
said that?
Many times.
Or was it Christy reports?
He called me and told me.
Okay.
Like this.
Divas Championship.
Someday I'm going to read something that's right.
Divas Championship on the line. Oh yes. Well, let's throw this poster up. So Chrissy had this poster that said Nikki Bella earned it.
So is that who the Weeknd's talking about?
But now on the other side of the poster said AfterBuzz TV told the Divas After Show, which obviously you all should certainly watch.
This on TV, people.
And And it's always great. We love seeing our fans hold posters, plug in AfterBuzz TV, plug in whether it's Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I know it's probably really tough to see the photo that you might be seeing on the screen.
Yay!
I took that from my seat, and that's Christy and hers, that bright pink poster. Here's the thing.
I love it.
It's one thing when we have fans promote our show, and we love it, we shout them out. It's another thing when we're promoting ourselves.
All day.
Shameless self-promotion. Like if you buy a t-shirt at prowrestlingtees.com/Christian Road. We don't do those type of things here, Christy.
Listen, if my sign made one person Google AfterBuzz TV Total Divas After Show and become a fan, then my sign served its purpose.
Oh, by the way, real quick thing, speaking of fans, I want to give a shout out to Bryant, who, as I was leaving Staples Center tonight, he stopped me. He was just like, dude, I love you on AfterBuzz. And I'm like, hey, well, in a couple hours, we're going to do the Hell in a Cell one. So you better be watching, Brian, because I just gave you a shout out.
And follow me on Twitter, G Hermoza. Don't forget the @ sign in the
we
beginning.
have the road to what now? Road to 500?
We're still at road to 400.
Road to 400 followers.
Okay.
Get at him.
I was waiting for somebody to come up to me and say that. I thought, especially with my sign, but it didn't happen. I know.
It's the Rose shirts.
They're
I
catchy.
suppose.
They're
yeah.
catchy.
I mean,
like a trademark.
beautiful woman or a rose shirt. Come on.
What's more memorable?
Thank you.
Especially in Hollywood.
Yeah. So, Nikki versus Charlotte. Personally, I like the Night of Champions match better than this one, but I think this one had more time than that one.
This one had way more time. Also, everyone was barred from ringside.
Which was great.
So, Christy, how were you still ringside?
I know,
How
right?
was any, like, they were
know.
like, everyone is barred from ringside. Or like, but there's still camera people, there's a timekeeper, there's like,
Team Bella member Christy Olson right there in the
there's
front row.
10 rows of people. Like, I thought it was going to be this mass exodus of the floor.
It was like, we need to spend the next few minutes to empty the arena.
Everybody cannot no, everyone got off the floor, so now ringside is officially the lower bowl, so everybody has to just keep running up.
Well, you know,
Everyone squeeze in.
but it's funny you say that because the crowd was going crazy for Nikki. I swear to you, I did not hear one. I mean, I know it's quiet down there where I was, but I did not hear one Charlotte chant, one woo, nothing. Everybody was screaming for Nikki.
Honestly,
where
from my view, from where I was sitting, I feel the crowd was mixed. I think they were split down the middle, because a lot of people like Nikki because she's hot, and a lot of people like Charlotte because she's an incredible wrestler. Nikki, and to be fair, she has certainly improved over the last year. There's no doubt
Very
about that.
much so.
And I thought Nikki overall in this match did very well. That Alabama slam on the apron was sick.
All about that.
I loved it.
Personally, I guess I'm in the minority because I like this match a lot better because I thought it was a lot more back and forth than their Night of Champions match. Night of Champions match was more Nikki working on the knee, etc., etc. This was a little bit more back and forth. Hated the finish to both of them though. I think psychology-wise, I think it kind of weak as far as because last month it was like, oh, Nikki's beating up and then spear, figure 8, and then victory. As opposed to this one, it's like Charlotte should have been like paralyzed as far after that Alabama slam on the apron.
Oh, yeah. Also,
But I loved her counter at the end though.
Yeah.
How she counted into the figure 8. But
Yeah.
what were you saying?
also,
Steve?
I think I've never said this publicly, but I don't think anyone under 300 pounds should use a spear, man or woman.
So you don't want Edge or Rhino to use it?
Nope.
Goldberg.
Roman Reigns is only 260. I don't think he should use it.
What about Goldberg?
Goldberg was under
Goldberg's fine.
300.
Goldberg was 300.
He was
when
under
used it.
He was not
300.
300.
He was not 300 pounds.
If Ryback is only 281.
I think Goldberg
yeah,
was
you
taller.
need you need to lower maybe 250.
I mean, Hulk Hogan being 303 is an exaggeration.
But
They also listed him at 6'9"
I'm
all the time.
I'm specifically going after Edge and Charlotte and who else uses the spear now? That shouldn't?
Everyone.
Yeah.
To me, I felt Rhino was the best
Yes.
of that, but he ain't 300 pounds.
I think
I guess he is.
Goldberg would destroy.
Goldberg was up there too. But yeah, well, I'm not necessarily against Charlotte using the spear. What I am against is why would one person on your current roster use spear as a finisher while then someone else uses the same exact move as a setup? That's the one issue I have with it.
Well, it's a setup to a submission, which would be considered a pinning
I'm
combination.
sorry,
Yeah.
Andrew Beeler in the chat just said in all caps, Steve, please stop. So about your spear stuff.
No,
I'm with Steve though. I mean,
Stop with a legitimate point, sir.
Because you can look at it. You can look at Charlotte's spear as the finishing move, but at least for me, at least being in maybe in the moment, I'd rather have somebody give up than pin on their shoulders. I want somebody to tell me that they quit because of my move. So maybe she can use it as a finisher move, but she just chooses to make Nikki submit.
Maybe.
Either or.
She needs something more.
I mean, I picked Nikki to win, to be honest with you. I thought she was going to win it back.
Well, Charlotte makes Nikki
I'm surprised that you picked Charlotte.
Yeah, because I knew I went with Ryback, and I'm trying to win the belt. I mean, I'm about putting the positive thoughts out there, but only in like Ryback time.
Nice shirt, by the way.
I was being a realist.
Oh, and
okay, I'll tell my story. Yes, thank you. I will tell my story when we get there.
Oh, okay. Well, AJ0314 in the chat brought up, and we forgot to mention it, because he was asking, what did Charlotte do to Nikki on the turnbuckle? That was the one, like, interesting move, because it looked like...
Oh, yeah.
They were going for a superplex, then Charlotte got out of it and countered, and to me, it looked like she was going to end up doing almost like a super reverse DDT, but something went awry, because when they fell, at least from Steve and I's angle, we really couldn't tell who got the worst of it. And then all of a sudden, Charlotte popped
landed
up.
on her feet.
Well, Charlotte, I feel like Charlotte wasn't supposed to land on her feet. I feel like Charlotte was supposed to land. I thought she was going to do like a reverse X Factor, if you will, where she would like drive Nikki's head down drive Nikki down on the back of her head while she spread her legs to get her legs out of the way. There was no way to not make that weird.
I love how as soon as you said that, creepy George's eyes just lit up.
I heard spread legs.
Okay, George.
But you can't.
But
that move didn't go as planned.
No, but I mean they worked off it fine.
Yeah,
I thought it looked fine, to be honest with you, on TV.
They sold it as a move.
I'm curious. I'm gonna have to watch it back on TV to see how it looked from those angles.
I just don't want to say that it didn't go as planned, because we don't know what was planned.
Right?
Maybe
we don't know. We don't know. Yeah.
Because it looked like she landed on her feet fine, like, and just Nikki just fell, but just a counter. But it did look weird, though. I'm not gonna deny that.
Right. And so Charlotte retains the title with the figure 8, and then Becky and Paige come out to celebrate, and Paige races down the ring faster than Becky to make sure that she can hug Charlotte first.
Oh, I was too busy booing to notice.
So
I see Paige, I boo.
Has anyone on the SmackDown panel gone on this rant about Paige?
What rant?
Probably.
Well, I'm sure we have, but what specific rant?
That they have her do the pipe bomb. They have her speak out against everything.
Okay.
They have her become a character with agency and thoughts that are against the grain. And then within 3 weeks, she's like, no, but I'm going to be the first because I'm just crazy and my mood changes on a whim.
Well, she's a woman.
And now she's like jealous.
But that's the problem. Like,
I'm gonna get
Road to 300.
I can hear the Twitter followers just getting subtracted.
But that's my
I got
my
him to
problem.
stop using the B word on air, guys.
When did I ever say the B
We're
word?
working on.
Brock
You did one
Butch?
time, and I told you couldn't anymore, and now you don't. That's good.
I didn't realize you never used it.
Yeah, no, I need to go back. Was it on a Total Diva show?
Yeah.
Backbreaker? Really?
We don't use that word on the Total Diva show.
Backbreaker?
Yep. Naughty word.
Bork laser?
Was it the 2-syllable version of that word? Because that sounds like more like me.
All right, I think we can get back to
Sounds
So-
But
rhymes
that's
with
my
Giotch.
rant about Paige, that you have her step out and take some of Charlotte's spotlight just to kind of go back on how she felt and what she said.
But I think it's still going somewhere, though.
It definitely is going somewhere.
but it's not-
This is obviously leading to Paige versus Charlotte.
I mean, honestly, the only reason why I picked Nikki to win this match because I thought Paige was going to cost Charlotte the belt. That's the only reason why I picked the match. If I knew it was going to be a straight-up match,
because they didn't ban everyone from the ringside till they tweeted about it.
Yeah.
They tweeted about it today, right before the show started.
Well, the problem with Paige is that they keep trying to push her as this anti-diva who's like angry and whatever, but she really is just in real life like a jealous girly girl, just like everybody else. And so that's what's coming through. So they're like, oh, we're putting her on Tough Enough. We're putting her on Total Divas where people can figure out who she really is.
She's a frustrated.
And she's not this anti-diva.
She's a frustrated.
She's not like a cool girl.
No, anti-diva has nothing to do with being a cool girl. She's a
but
frustrated employee at a place.
Isn't she still the youngest diva too?
Yep.
On the main roster, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think it's so like she's a frustrated employee at a place with it, but she has a dream. Her dream is to work at that place. I think that's such a compelling and relatable story that they gave us a glimmer of and then muddled it in 3 weeks. That's all.
I think she's just not what they wanted to push her as.
Well,
I disagree with that completely.
I think she's she's exactly that.
No,
and that they didn't want her to do, and they didn't want her to go against the plan.
I think she. I think.
And you men are all buying it.
That's
like she was on Conan a few days ago too. She's gross. She's just gross, and you guys love it because you're men, and so that's okay.
No, how
we don't have the time to.
Yeah, because we can go back and forth about this. The big thing with her is they gave her too much success too quickly. And that's what happened with Sheamus when he first started. That's why people were bored of Sheamus right away.
They really
all of a sudden,
he
propelled him right away to the title and then stayed in main event. But then they did the right thing with Sheamus. They eventually lowered him a couple notches for a while and then started building back. Now he's got the Money in Bank and everything. And I feel that's kind of what they were trying to do with Paige. That's why she's been losing lately. But obviously she's still someone in that title picture. But to me, she's probably going to lose that match with Charlotte whenever that happens, and then just kind of hang out for a little while, just to then eventually build momentum, get up there. Because she's so young and she's so talented and she has a lot more time.
But also, she was a very well written and well realized character in NXT, and when they called her up, they ignored it completely. And I think that's
because
been her problem.
Because she wasn't really that. And they started putting her on reality shows where she's showing who she really is. And she's not like aloof, cool girl who doesn't care. She cares very much.
All right. I think we can move on.
And that being said, Nikki and Charlotte both had new gear. That was really cute.
I like Nikki's gear.
I did like Nikki's gear.
I like Nikki's gear because she doesn't have to do this every time. Because there's usually like a nip. Like you can watch a Nikki match and she'll do a nip check every 120 seconds or so.
Hey, girl doesn't want to be fined.
That's. I'm not saying it's wrong, but now she's got that.
Is she more worried about being fined, or more worried about the fact of being accidentally naked in front of millions of people?
Both.
Well, maybe that.
Okay.
She does not have any nudie pictures on the internet.
Did you check?
No topless ever.
She is checked.
I check out all the ladies to see what they were
Creepy
doing.
George.
Yeah,
is
what
checked.
website is this?
It's just a lot of Google
But
imaging.
who does have nudie pictures?
Well,
another time.
Okay, creepy. Yeah,
First off, everybody watching at home, they're like, dude, you just cut her off when she was about to say the websites and who's going to be on the sites. But go on.
I think most people know
I guess I'll find out afterwards.
Most people know these websites, George.
Yeah.
I don't.
Backstage segment with Reigns, who apparently over an hour plus later is now just finally taking his gloves off. And Ambrose comes in to celebrate with him, congratulate him on his victory. And
Dean Ambrose, who's flown out to Los Angeles to celebrate with Roman Reigns in a backstage segment.
Yep.
All right.
And Ambrose is just like, all right, now we can work on this. But Reigns is like, well, let's wait till tomorrow. And Amber's like, oh, well, we got to celebrate tonight. And he's like, all right, no problem. So this is going to be one of two things, in my opinion. But we know how great my track record is with predictions. Either, number one, whatever their plan was is going to get derailed and they're going to join a Survivor Series team, which we'll get into later. Or B, Survivor Series, we're going to have a Shield triple threat match for the title.
Both are acceptable.
Yeah.
Both are very acceptable.
And this overall silence in the room means, okay, I guess we'll move on.
No, but Roman Reigns' convincing win tonight puts him in number one contender status.
Right.
Especially if Kane and then Sting before that were number one contenders, which were people who didn't do anything. So it's like you could just pretty much no, Reigns gets it. And then Ambrose, who also did some stuff, he gets it too. I'd love that.
Oh, but and actually another thing the chat rolls mentioned is tag champs. We said New Day needs somebody.
That would be a nice powerhouse. And then it keeps them out of the picture so Rollins can face Spin the Wheel.
Right.
Spin the Wheel, make a deal.
Next.
Xavier Woods.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
A returning Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, well, that one could work too. WWE World Heavyweight Championship on the line, as well as the position of Director of Operations. The Demon Kane versus Seth Rollins. Kane looked as good as he did 5 years ago to me. I thought he was fantastic in this match.
Did anybody else kind of want to see Kevin Nash come out as Kane and then corporate Kane come out in a suit?
I think George
to prove that they were two different people.
I think George's head hurts right now.
I would rather see Festus come out as Demon Kane.
Yeah, there are a lot of Kanes.
So many Kanes.
Too many Kanes.
But
well, the one that showed up tonight just really rocked it.
He was right.
Well, you know,
Go ahead.
I think, you know, these last few months have been really great test for Rollins as far as his TV psychology in matches, because we already know how great of a ring psychologist he is and how great a wrestler he is. But all of a sudden, going from all these crazy matches with whether it's Reigns or Ambrose or Cena, having to do Sting and then having to do Kane, they're completely different style wrestlers. Obviously, his pace is much slower.
Yeah.
It's much more methodical. He has to, you know, it's clearly the game of speed versus strength.
Because it's a different go.
Right.
We know Seth Rollins can go with someone, like, if they wanted to do a match at 3 times the speed with Neville.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins could do that.
And I enjoyed this was the one match, honestly, I was worried about. I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to enjoy this physical match, because like, we'll see how the two work together. But it was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
I'm starting to compare Seth Rollins to somebody. I mean, he's got a ways to go to being considered one of the best of all time. Obviously, there's nothing holding him back for that. But I started to compare him like Randy Savage, because Randy Savage is somebody who, obviously not the biggest guy, but he can work with guys bigger than him, the same size. He was a great face. He was a great heel. Obviously, we haven't really seen Rollins as a fantastic face yet, even though we all know that he could be. So I do start see glimpses of that kind of Savage, Shawn Michaels kind of thing.
Sure. And yeah, and I can see that. I mean, some people, I can see Savage. I can even see a couple of people kind of see Shawn Michaels in there.
There's the obvious allusion to Triple H, which I actually don't see. Like in the ring style.
Hold that. I want to know.
I'm sorry,
I want to know
I'm
what
just-
that was.
There's just so many Seth Rollins comparisons, and he's the next who and so and whatever.
He's the next Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Wait. What, do you not like Seth Rollins all of a sudden?
I just find him mildly annoying.
Is it because
That's
of
the
the
point.
whole...
He's a heel. He's supposed to be annoying.
No, but I usually like people who are just really huge personalities and really play the role. But I don't know. I don't know. I think it's the personal stuff that I know about him. That's what
I knew it.
That's what it is.
I knew it. I was going to say it.
It's the hometown fiance that he was with for years that he left for the racist diva, wherever the hell that girl that got fired. Like I can't.
Who
I can't
cares?
Do it. I do.
is this all on Total Divas? Should I start watching the show?
No. You got to Google the really good stuff
Okay.
to get those stories.
I've seen these stories.
I
It's
knew
true.
it. I swear to God, I knew it.
What people do off camera, whether it's right or wrong, should have nothing to do with how you feel their character on television is.
I think it's interesting that you say that, because I feel like I'm a fairly judgmental person, and I feel like you're a fairly judgmental person as well.
I am. I'm not saying I condone. I'm not condoning.
I'm saying it's not.
I'm not condoning what one person did or said off camera or things like that. I'm not going to say, oh, it's fine because he does this on TV. But I'm just saying I keep the two separate.
When there's reality shows that are playing their real lives and all that stuff.
99% of reality shows are not reality.
Oh, I know.
All right.
All right. Well, I will continue to keep their personal lives engrossed in my opinion of them.
That's fair. They like that, though.
I love you, Christy.
They do.
I love you, Christy. All right. Kane almost went through a table. Not quite.
He went into a table.
He went into one and then it
Table
tipped
fell.
over.
Tipped over table.
Hey, Jay.
Okay.
Hey,
She said
Kay.
hey to Jay. What's up, Jay?
All right. Hi, Jay. He likes Christy's sass. That
Makes one of you.
I also like the fact that apparently a monitor broke on the announce table,
That was
which
so
Steve and I got. I'm sure it wasn't on television. So one of the monitors,
Big
that,
CRT monitors on the Michael Cole JBL, the English announce team side.
right?
They both got thrown on the ground and they both broke.
Right. So one of them. They put two of them together, but one of them apparently wasn't working well, and that was the one that was near JBL, and he just grabbed it and threw it on the ground. And then you see all three commentators. Obviously, you don't see it really on television. We see all three commentators staring at a screen that is half the size of my laptop here, and then calling the match through that. And I always see people in chat and they tweet me asking, why do they always look in the TV when the match is going on right there? And JR said it best many years ago, in the fact that they have to call a match just like how people on TV are watching it.
Yeah.
So that's why, even though the match might be as close to me as Steve is right now. Their heads are turned looking over here because they need to make sure they see the exact angles that people at home are watching or seeing.
So much so that they don't ever lift their head to look up at the actual match. It's a job that can be done just as well
remotely.
Pretty much remotely, but for some reason they need to be ringside.
Now, is anybody... I was surprised about this. Was anyone else surprised at the fact that not that Seth Rollins won, but that Seth Rollins won clean?
No, that seemed right.
It's got to happen once in a while, or I'm going to get really annoyed with him.
I said the same thing. I was like, yeah, he's got to win sometime clean.
Well, pedigree on Kane. Seth Rollins retains the title, and Corporate Kane is no longer your director of operations. So maybe he has his farewell of some kind tomorrow night on Raw. Raw's going to be stacked tomorrow. I'm really excited.
That's the point.
Yeah. Wait, are you telling me that everyone should turn into Monday Night Raw tomorrow?
Perhaps. Perhaps they should tune in. And then, of course, watch the Monday Night Raw AfterBuzz.
Of course.
Yeah. And, of course, as all pay-per-views have, following the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, you have the Intercontinental Championship match.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, make perfect sense.
Why not?
Ryback trying to get his title back against Kevin Owens. Before we get into the breakdown of the match, I know Christy had a little Ryback story because she's showing off her Ryback shirt.
That's right. And you guys aren't the only ones who saw my shirt. Ryback himself totally acknowledged me. He was walking around the ring, waiting for Kevin Owens to come in, and I was screaming and waving my hands, and then he looked at me and I was like, and he totally gave me like one of these. Like
for those of you listening.
Oh, yes. He nodded at me. It was a double nod. It was
he gave you the double
shakes.
nod? Mm-hmm. No way.
Because he solely saw her in the midst of the 20,000 fans.
No, there was
eye
contact. I'm telling you.
Eye contact!
I'm telling you.
No
I'm telling you.
He
himself will confirm this.
I am telling your husband.
When we tweet him enough for him to... Oh, he was standing right there, but he claims he didn't see it either.
Eye contact.
I know.
I didn't see it.
That is
all I can say.
Such a wonderful story.
It's true.
It's that I did not see it, but this match...
acknowledged me.
Well, Ryback saw me too when I was way up there, but he was just doing to feed me more. But I swear we had eye contact.
That's funny. Me and Ryback had a conversation at Access this past year.
I know. I've seen the video.
Really? Mm-hmm. Wow. How many times?
On AfterBuzz TV.
It was on that Google, all those Google searches.
Yeah. You know I'm looking for topless pictures of Ryback. Hello.
Those are probably pretty easy to find.
Oh yeah, when he took that thing off tonight.
All right.
Oh my God, Steve.
Get into the match.
Yeah, please go ahead. Get into the match, Steve.
Okay.
You were about to say something about it.
No, I was going to ask if we can get into the match, but I enjoyed this match. I enjoy everything they've done with Kevin Owens.
Yes.
Because my only thing was I wish he had beat Cena the second time. He had beat Cena the second time, not the first time, to make it. Because
I don't know if I agree with that.
Of a best of three with John Cena, he should win one, and it should be a shocker. But if John Cena beats him first... But if John Cena beats him first, then I don't know. That's like literally my only problem with everything they've done with Kevin Owens.
By the way, the chat row wants us to hose Christy down, apparently.
I'll calm myself. That's not necessary, folks.
Hey, careful. There is still some drops of water in there, George. Don't
curly hair.
Your cup.
Huh?
Watch it.
So this match, it was a good match. Again, I think the Night of Champions one was better than this one too. And it was just where they happened to place this match. You knew this was kind of the filler match for people to kind of catch their breath and get ready for the main event.
I know, and I hated that for them.
Kevin Owens with a pop-up powerbomb for the win. Now, really, the question is, what's next for both of them? Who's next in line for Owens? Who's Ryback going to go to next? Because this feud should be done now. Owens just beat him again.
I'm going to say Wade Barrett.
For Ryback?
For Owens.
Why would that makes no sense?
Heel versus heel? Well,
they're both heel.
We obviously think, maybe Barrett for a reason. We want to know why.
No, because they would be... Wade Barrett is the best hand in that. It doesn't always have to be heel, guys. Or it doesn't always have to be heel-face. Sometimes it could just be heel, and you choose...
So you're just saying for an opponent or a program?
Yeah, we're talking about a program. When was the last time you saw a heel versus heel program?
Don't put me on the spot. But I'm sure.
You really challenging him on this guy.
He's not the sports entertainment encyclopedia.
Okay, George, when was the last time you had a heel versus heel program?
You're asking him.
No, it happens. And then you can just choose who you like. And I think more people would choose Kevin Owens. than Barrett, because Barrett's the actual heel, whereas Kevin Owens is just a guy who's a prize fighter.
Right.
Who's a prize fighter who just you happen to disagree with now.
Right. Well, we'll see, but we got to get it. We got to get into the main event. Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Hell in a freaking Cell.
Yes.
Blood in a freaking cell.
Blood in the cell. Cell not necessary.
Do we think they planned the blood? Like WWE planned the blood?
I
think Lesnar does it to himself every single time, and it's almost too much.
I think they plan it.
I'm
and honestly,
really
because of the way they use blood nowadays, I think it now does make it a little bit more special when it is blood involved.
Yeah.
But he bleeds a lot. Like, does it always have to be him?
Yeah.
He doesn't.
He only wrestles 5 times a year.
Yeah, like he bleeds 100% of the time he wrestles. He doesn't wrestle a lot.
And it's funny because like he never really bled in the UFC, but yet he bleeds in the fake sport.
But the interesting, the cell was very barely used. We had some chair shots, but the really cool thing was Lesnar ripped up the canvas.
See, I don't know how it looked on, obviously, from your point of view, but from my point of view, it was like, he was just kind of like, oh, what is that little thing? Oh, that's pretty cool.
Well, because when he slammed the ring steps down, it's like, oh, maybe he ripped the ring, and then he pulled it up, and then pulled off the thin matting, and then there was the plywood. And for anyone who has not built a ring before, pretty much how it is you have your canvas, you have your mat that's about yay thick, an inch thick, then you have plywood and metal, and that's it. So once that little mat is removed, it hurts. And Lesnar got chokeslammed on said wooden area. And then we had a tombstone. We had several F5s. We had several tombstones. But the big thing, an F5 on the wood gave Brock Lesnar the win in the final, quote-unquote, final chapter of this epic feud. Lesnar victorious. But that's not when it ends.
Well, Lesnar walks away. Also, Heyman just kind of came out. Heyman didn't have to do very much.
Well, he was behind the cell. He couldn't do anything.
I tweeted a GIF today at him of like, stay away from Undertaker. And the GIF was of him in an earlier match where Undertaker got a hold of Paul Heyman's tie and then just like pulled him up against the Hell in a Cell.
I did like this match, yeah. I mean, compared to the first one, obviously, I'm going to go with the first Hell in a Cell for the reasons that I mentioned earlier, as far as obviously it meant more as opposed to there's no reason why this match should have been in the cell. But the brutality didn't, like, this match was just as brutal as the first Hell in a Cell match.
Yes.
Like, oh my God. The punishment Undertaker does on his body, like, oh my God. Wow, I don't know. At his age, like, kudos, dude.
Mad respect.
You're the man.
But the cell comes up.
Yeah,
Lesnar leaves.
So Lesnar leaves as the victor. Cell goes up. Undertaker finally gets to his feet. Crowd going nuts, showing their respect for him. We're thinking, all right, they're hyping up the 25th anniversary of the Undertaker at Survivor Series. So we're thinking, oh, that must be it.
Yeah.
So this is like thinking, oh, the last time we're going to see him here. He does his pose, and as soon as he does the pose, blop, Wyatt suddenly comes out.
Is that what it does?
It blop, blop. That's I can't do the sound.
That's good.
Actually pretty close, yeah.
But then,
did you just have a seizure? What the hell was that?
No, that's the Wyatt.
So Wyatt's come out and beat down the Undertaker, all 4 of them, and then they carry him out as Hell in a Cell goes off the air. So all of a sudden we go from, we think we're saying kind of goodbye to the Undertaker to what the hell is happening now?
I think this
why
is kind
didn't
of
anyone save him?
Yeah, I mean,
why didn't anyone?
I kept thinking that they're gonna. He has to do something at Survivor Series. He just has to. I think that obviously it's been saying it for a while. Everything's gonna culminate at Mania. Everything's gonna culminate at Mania. But yeah, now that like he doesn't want to just that to be his last thing ever. Just now it's like, well, you got the 25th anniversary, which makes sense. Like, how do you not have him wrestle at the 25th anniversary
in a Survivor Series match?
Exactly,
because it's gonna be Team Wyatt because we got the 4 of them.
I would say Taker, Kane. I'd say Rollins and Ambrose.
Well, let's just get.
You mean Reigns?
No, Rollins and no.
Okay, well, let's start off.
Let's say it real quick because we got to wrap up. So pick that Survivor Series match right now, and then we wrap it up.
I'm calling that Survivor Series match is Team Wyatt, which is the Wyatts plus Undertaker because they brainwashed him, and then 5 faces. Put them together.
Okay, that's a very thorough prediction.
Yes.
George, what do you think?
I like it, but yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'd still say Undertaker because I thought they were going to come out. I thought it was going to be Taker, Kane, Reigns, Ambrose against the Wyatts.
All right, Christy?
I'm going to use my time to say Brock Lesnar fell down as he was leaving. Did they show that on TV?
No, they did not.
Yeah, he was totally like woozy from the blood and like totally just like fell backwards on his ass.
Sell it, Brock.
Yeah, he's selling it. So, do you want to make any guess on?
It looked pretty real.
Do you want to make any guess on the Survivor Series match?
No.
Okay. Survivor Series Team Wyatt versus. It's either going to be what George said: Undertaker, Kane, Reigns, and Ambrose, or Undertaker, Kane, and Usos, and then Reigns and Ambrose are doing tag titles because. Wyatt took out the Usos too.
They took out Kane. I don't know if they're going to bring that up. Like SummerSlam 2013.
Yeah.
They kind of did the same thing to Kane, so I'm kind of curious if they're going to bring that up.
Well, we got a lot of questions that need to be answered between now and Survivor Series, which we are super excited for. And of course, you can keep the conversation going on the AfterBuzz TV YouTube page. Leave the comments. We love responding to them. And of course, talk to us on various forms of social media. Steve Kaufmann, how can people reach out to you?
People can reach out to me if they can see me in real life, but also on Twitter. I'm at Steve Kaufmann, Kaufmann. This shirt courtesy of ProWrestlingTees.com.
George Hermoza.
You can follow me at Twitter and on Instagram as the road to 400 followers hopefully continues at G Hermoza, GHERMOZA. This shirt is courtesy of my mother. Bought it from someone I don't know where she bought it from.
Aww.
Christy.
Well, everybody, tweet me and tell me that you saw me on TV at Christy Reports, and please also subscribe to my YouTube channel, Christy Reports.
All right, and follow me on Twitter at Real Rosenberg, Instagram at The Real Rosenberg. And once again, I got 2 different designs. This is one of them. Buy the t-shirts at ProWrestlingTees.com/Christian Rosenberg. And of course, all your other AfterBuzz TV news and gossip, follow them at AfterBuzz TV. Thanks so much. We hope you enjoyed Hell in a Cell. We sure did. For Steve Kaufmann, George Hermoza, and Christy Olson, I am Christian Rosenberg, and we will see you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.